Welcome everybody to the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. Please listen to the rules and procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. The following is the procedure that will be followed tonight. The matters will be called in the order they appear on the calendar, with adjourned matters being called at the end of the regularly scheduled matters. Matters cannot be heard prior to their published scheduled time. When your matter is called, please submit the affidavit of posting to the secretary and proceed to the podium and give your name and address. The chairperson will then swear you in and read into the record information we have from your application, comments from various town departments, and any correspondence received on your application. The chairperson will then ask you to make whatever presentation you wish to make to the board. After you have made your presentation, the board will ask whatever questions the board deems appropriate, and then we will ask for comments from the public. If you wish to speak for or against an application, we ask that you wait until you're acknowledged. Come forward, give us your name and address, tell us where your property is in relation to the property that's in question tonight, and then please direct your comments to the board, not the applicant or the applicant's representative. We have to keep a record, and we cannot do that if there are people talking over each other or cross conversations. If someone has spoken for or against an application, and they have said exactly the same thing that you wish to say, it will have the same force and effect in the record if you give your name and address, are sworn in, and say that you join in those comments. If you have anything additional to say, please don't hesitate to do so, but keep in mind that you will be given only one opportunity to speak. After the public has spoken, the board may ask the applicant to come back to answer any questions that may have come up as a result of the public comments, or for the applicant to summarize. When the applicant comes back to answer any additional questions, if that happens, that does not start a second round of public comments. Once the matter has been heard, various things may occur. The board may decide the application immediately. It may reserve decision. If the board reserves decision, that does not mean the matter is approved or denied. It just means that the board needs more time to decide, may want to go out and look at the site again, or might want to review the documents and testimony further before making a decision. In either event, the applicant will receive the board's decision in writing shortly after the board makes its decision. If the application is approved, that does not mean that you can then go ahead and start construction or whatever it is that you requested from the board. You will have to wait for the building permit to be obtained from the building department before your go-ahead. On some occasions, the matter may be continued for another night. If it is continued, in most cases it will be for the submission of documents, a new survey, new plans, or something of that nature. If that's the case, no one needs to come back on the new date. The documents will be submitted and no further testimony will be taken. On rare occasions, a matter may be continued for future testimony. If that's the case, then people would have to come back to testify. If matters are adjourned at an open meeting on the scheduled date of hearing, no further notice need be given unless specifically required by the board on the date the adjournment is granted. 3 rules that may affect your ability to proceed tonight. 1. If the sign was not posted for 10 days, we cannot hold the hearing tonight. 2. If you commence this proceeding while you own the property, but no longer own the property, and you are here now to continue with the application, you will need either the written consent of the new owner or the new owner to be present for the hearing. This situation could come about if you sold your house or building, money was held in escrow at closing for a certificate of occupancy or permit, and you're here tonight to clear that up. Lastly, if your application is a commercial application and it's other than a renewal and there is more than one tenant in the building, then you need your landlord to be here. Is there any applicant that has any difficulty with those situations and would need an adjournment tonight?
Is there anyone that would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I begin, there is one adjournment on our calendar. It's application 23-194. Property is located in Deer Park. This application is being adjourned to December 21st. Anybody here on that application? Okay. First application is application 23-191 of Shasheen Bradley, property located in Farmingdale. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Justin Phillips, NYCD Group, 118 Baker Court, Island Park, New York, 11558.
Okay, I do affirm to tell the truth.
I do.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated November 20th, 2023. Environmental control memo dated November 20th, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Christopher Henn dated October 23rd, 2003. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Mr. Chairman, we have two pictures and a plot plan by architect Martin A. Piscanti dated May 25th, 2023.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
So we're here requesting a variance for permission to diminish the distance from the secondary front property line on Birch Circle from code required 40 feet to 10 feet for a proposed fully above-ground swimming pool. We propose to install a 15 by 26 by 52-inch high oval above-ground swimming pool in the northeast section of the lot. The pool will be fully enclosed by the existing 6-foot-high PVC fence screening the eastern length of the front street line along Birch Circle South, fully enclosing the rear yard. The secondary frontage from which we're requesting relief is not a through street and only provides access to the adjoining properties. Due to the location of the existing freestanding garage and existing block patio in the rear yard, we cannot comply with the code-required 40-foot setback, and therefore we're here to request relief. With regard to the Planning Division memorandum dated November 20, 2023, in which the planning staff stated they'd have no objection should the zoning board grant the requested relief, assuming that the conditions that any decking or ladder leading into the pool shall not further encroach the front property line on Birch Circle South, and that should the above-ground pool be replaced with an in-ground or semi-in-ground pool, it shall be subject to a new approval from the zoning board. We acknowledge these conditions and affirm that we would be in compliance with those.
Okay, thank you. I think that was the only question I really had about this application. Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. That's good. I'll make a motion to approve application 23-191 with the conditions on the planning memo dated November 20th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, what's this last name?
I'm also applicant for the next case.
Okay, next application is application 23-192 of, this is an irrevocable trust from Lauren Spanish and Scott Spanish, and Dale Spanish, I guess. Property is located in Copeg.
Correct.
Okay. Name and address for the record again.
Justin Phillips, NYCD Group, 118 Baker Court, Island Park, New York, 11558.
And for the record, do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated November 20th, 23. A environmental control memo dated November 20th, 2023. There are a couple of things on here. You should have had a copy of that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Survey by Adrian LaSalle dated September 23rd, 23. Tax map acting as an area map.
And Mr. Chairman, we have 7 pictures and a plot plan by architect Martin A. Piscanti dated April 24th, 2023.
Would you like to tell us about the application?
Okay, so here we are to request 5 variances for a proposed semi-in-ground swimming pool, a 16 by 24 by 52-inch deep Oval semi-in-ground swimming pool buried 18 inches deep in the southeast section of the lot. The proposed pool will be installed 10 feet from side and rear lot lines to conform with code. However, the pool will increase the maximum building area by 384 square feet. We are also proposing to maintain 2 existing sheds on the property. Shed 1 is a 10-foot by 10-foot timber frame shed with a max peak of 10.5 feet, which is located on the west side of the property. We are requesting a variance to diminish the 50-foot front yard setback to 41.2 feet and diminish the 10-foot side yard setback to 7.1 feet. Shed 2 is an 8-foot by 10-foot timber frame shed with a height of 9 feet located on the east side of the property. We are requesting a variance to diminish the 50-foot front yard setback to 41.2 feet and diminish the 2-foot side yard setback to 1.3 feet or 15.6 inches. The residence, being a single-story ranch-style home, occupies approximately 25% of the maximum allowable building area, which leaves 5% for associated patios, sheds, and proposed pool. Shed 1 cannot be relocated to accommodate the zoning setbacks, as it can't be moved further east due to the residence, and it cannot be moved further south, as that would block a window to the residence. Shed 2 cannot be relocated to accommodate the zoning setbacks, as it cannot be moved further west, as it will block the gate entrance from the driveway to the backyard, and it cannot be moved south due to the existing HVAC condenser unit, which would be blocking the path. With regard to the Planning Division memorandum dated November 20th, 2023, which the staff stated they'd have no objection should the board grant the requested relief, subject to the following conditions. Should the sheds ever be taken down, they be rebuilt in a conforming location. We acknowledge and affirm that we would be in compliance with that.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Dellavecchia.
So shed number 1 is how big?
Shed number 1, which is a 10-foot by 10-foot timber shed.
That's the one on the west side?
That's the one on the west side with the barn-style roof.
It looks bigger than shed number 2. I mean, just by...
Shed number 2 is a 10-foot by 8-foot shed.
Okay, so they're both under 100 square feet.
Correct.
Okay. So then we can remove variance number 2?
Number 2 can be deleted.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to delete variance number 2 on application 23-192.
All in favor?
It seems that there was a pool.
Number 3 can be amended.
Number 3?
Diminished distance east lot, side lot line, it should be from 2 feet to 1 foot.
From 2 to 1.
Non-accessory building.
I make a motion to amend application 23-192 on variance number 3 from 10 feet to 2 feet.
All in favor?
Why can't the one on the east side be moved back a foot?
The shed on the east side, if it is moved, so you're saying move it towards the west or to the left of the drawing?
Yeah, just to,
If it was,
be
I
in
was there
compliance.
today to see if that was something we could accommodate, since
Yeah.
we just received these comments yesterday. Once you move it that way, it's putting it into the path of the existing gate, which gives you access from the driveway
I
to
mean, it's
the rear
just
yard.
1 foot.
It puts it right on it.
Yeah, you can't,
I have a photo I could show you, it's just,
yeah, if you can. And then is this going in the same location as the previous pool from 2000?
yes.
Same location?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Oh, yeah, we're waiting. Yeah, we can't make a decision on this until we get Suffolk County Planning, which is not your problem to get. Hopefully, we'll get it by next week? Oh, we're off next week, right? Yeah, so it'll be 2 weeks before we can move the application.
Okay.
Okay? But until then.
All right, so that it
It's
can't be,
administrative, it's nothing you have to
okay,
do.
can't be voted on until, obviously, you're in receipt of that?
Yeah.
Okay. And that would, the next vote, when you receive it, that would take place at the next hearing?
We
Or
will
is that
take it-
a
As long as we
non,
have Suffolk County Planning, we'll take
Okay.
it up at the next meeting.
next meeting?
Okay? Which is 2 weeks. Okay? Okay?
Okay, so, just to be clear, there's no presence necessary by me or the
No,
applicant?
nothing. Strictly, again, we have to receive that from Suffolk County stating that they have no problem with the application, which
Okay.
is pretty normal, basically. Yeah, close the hearing, reserve decision, keep the record open for Suffolk County Planning. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You too. Next application is application 23-198 of Anthony and Elizabeth Vitas, property located in Copac. Name and address for the record, please.
Nicholas Capucci, C-A-P-P-U-C-C-I. I work with Todd O'Connell Architects, 1200 Veterans Highway, Suite 120, Hauppauge, New York.
Okay, and you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated November 20th, 2023, environmental control memo dated November 20th, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by Elizabeth McQuilkin dated, or last dated August 16th, no, August 1st, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map,
And, Mr. Chairman, we have 4 pictures and a plot plan by architect Todd O'Connell dated July 6, 2023.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
So I'm here representing Mr. and Mrs. Vitas. They are actually present here today if you have any questions for them. It's 56 North Emerson Avenue. What we are going here for is kind of extension to a small Cape style house. We're trying to put a second floor addition and a rear addition on this house, along with a front one-story porch. The front one-story porch that we're proposing comes out past the required encroachment. We're only coming out 3.5 feet to the columns, but we're coming out an extra foot with the roof overhang. So that's that clarification that I believe the site plan wanted, or the board wanted to hear regarding the front portico. 25 feet will be to the roof overhang. The roof overhang is up higher and it hangs out and sticks out a foot past the columns. So 25 feet is the measurement or the relief that we are seeking for the front yard will be the 25 foot to the roof overhang. The rear addition, we're looking to propose it and align with the existing house. The rear addition, it's a one-story addition. The side yard is at 7.9 feet, and we're just looking to maintain that and keep that consistent throughout the addition in the back, and that's what triggers the side yard as well as the aggregate relief that we're looking for. And then the second floor addition, we're all within rights with the second floor. We do not go over the height. It is within the characteristics of the neighborhood, and again, it's a small cape that we have, so we're looking to just expand and get more room for the house.
Turn the hearing over to Mr. Dellavecchia.
Just real quick, too.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I do have consent letters from the 2 immediate neighbors to the left and right, and an additional neighbor down the couple houses down from.
Want to hand those up? Sure.
What's the full purpose of the additions? You guys need, how many bedrooms is the home currently?
3 bedrooms.
And it's gonna be what, 5?
There's going to be 2 more downstairs, and then another 3 upstairs. Yeah, 3 upstairs.
That'll be 7.
With a little study.
Is there gonna be a kitchen upstairs?
No kitchen.
No kitchen?
No, they plan on keeping it just a single family, 1 family dwelling. That was, again, another stipulation that the board had in their correspondence. But yeah, 1 family dwelling, not looking to make it a 2-family or an apartment living or anything like that. Yeah, so the family is, is just coming together, and they're all living in one house together. That's what the additional rooms would be needed for.
Okay. And the front porch, I was there today, and basically every house is aligned, and you can see it there. Coming out another 4 feet, that would set a precedent for everyone on the block to want to come out further.
Well, and again, in regards to that, I mean, there is that encroachment. The way the house sits right now, we are only at the 29.6, which 30 feet is allowed.
Yep.
So we do, it's a non-conform condition as it sits there today.
Yep.
We are coming out just that minimum, again, 3.5 feet to the column. So if we are taking it to the column or to the slab, it's much, we're more kind of in compliance and further back.
The column is for the portico?
The columns are for the portico, correct.
Okay, so
I
you're
mean,
not,
I could even kind of push it back a little bit and get a smaller roof overhang in the front to give it a 6 inches instead of the foot, and kind of adapt it to that way. On our original proposal, we did ask for a 26.3 foot relief instead of the 25 foot. But again, the plans examiner came back and wanted it to the roof overhang.
okay. The garage in the back, is that remaining?
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board?
I have one, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Do you agree to the condition there be no accessory apartment?
Yes, we agree to that.
No further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 23-198. Second. Yeah. And with also the condition that the front portico not be further enclosed and no accessory apartments. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Very good, thank
luck.
you.
Next. Oh, hold on. Next application is application 23179 of Robert and Jennifer Lynn, property located in West Babylon.
Good evening. My name is Robert Lynn. I'm at 55 11th Avenue, West Babylon.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated November 20th, 23. Environmental control memo dated November 20th, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by John Robinson dated July 31st, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Mr. Chairman, we have 9 pictures and a plot plan by architect Robert Rohina dated September 6, 23.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
So I was here on November 3rd with my architect. Much of these variances were discussed then. So we have 6 of them. Items 1 to 5 were previously discussed and agreed to. They're in relation to the front porch, rear roofed patio, and the shed. We agreed to the conditions that the front porch would not be enclosed, the rear roof over the patio would not be enclosed, and the shed, if ever taken down, would be rebuilt in a conforming location. I suspect the issue that still remains is regarding item number 6, diminishing the south lot line from 2 feet to 0 feet. During that time, we were asked by the board if we would consider modifying this request to something other than 0 feet, as that was a concern by the board regarding the drainage and containment of water within the property limits. So currently we have pavers there now, and there is a setback of 5 inches, which is what I would like to keep. So the reason is that anything more than 5 inches of setback would present many additional challenges and thousands of dollars worth of additional costs. As that there is only 12 feet of space on that side of the house And on one side, there's a concrete step platform with steps that's over 6 feet wide. And the other side, there's a fence with 5-inch posts. So in short, there's just over 5 feet from the concrete platform step to the current fence. In the front, we have recently installed a brand-new 12-foot fence that's perpendicular to the patio that meets the house. Looking from the front, this fence has a 4-foot gate that attaches to the post at the property line. So should the setback be more than 5 inches be required by the board, we would be required to do the following to accommodate this. We'd need to incur a significant cost to pay a fence company to remove the newly installed 12-foot fence and 4-foot gate. We would also incur additional significant cost to pay a mason to remove the required pavers, the paver underlayment, reinstall new border stones, and install some sort of permeable material where the pavers were then removed. Once this was all done, we would then incur more cost to bring back the fence company to reinstall the 12-foot section of gate, add an offset for the gate to the approved setback line, and then likely pay to have a custom gate made, as our current 4-foot gate would likely no longer swing open properly due to the reduced opening created by the setback. Because there is now only about 5.5 feet from the step platform to the gate, any increase in setback would only reduce this small space and in turn further restrict the utility of this main gated entrance to the backyard. It is my understanding the primary concern for the proper setback is to contain storm runoff. I would like to present the following in an attempt to alleviate any concerns the board may have regarding this water runoff. The total stretch of pavers is not the entirety of the property line, but in fact only 58 feet. 12 feet of this exists in the front yard and is sloped toward the front and not the side. 20 feet of this 58 feet exists in the rear and is sloped toward the back grass, and therefore it leaves only a 12-foot by 26-foot section on the side of the property that presents a runoff concern. However, our home also has a soffit that extends 3 feet over the 26-foot area and captures the rainwater and is diverted to a flower bed in our front yard, further reducing this area of concern to an area of 9 foot by 26 foot. This land is the land of my only affected neighbor and my own has a significant natural slope from the back of a property to the front that would in fact naturally direct any runoff from this patio section toward the front of the property, which would serve to certainly mitigate most of the runoff concerns. Also, another thing to note is that the subsoil layer of this land is predominantly sand, which is inherently superior in terms of absorption and drainage. Beside this, previous to the current paver installation, there was for more than 30 years a 4-inch rebar reinforced concrete patio where the pavers sit now that extended all the way to the property line, and at no time had this ever created a water issue for my neighbor. As I previously mentioned, we do now have 5 inches of setback, which did not exist previously, and pavers are inherently offer more drainage between the individual blocks than did a 4-inch solid concrete slab that existed previously. We've also spoken to the neighbor that would be affected by this, and she nor any of our neighbors have ever voiced any complaints or concern for our pavers and any other changes we've since made to our home. We have since had signage on a property for more than 40 days advertising our intent for these variances, once for the hearing we had on November 3rd and again for this meeting tonight. The town has twice advertised our intent to acquire variances in the local newspaper, and twice has my neighbor been notified via mailing. Despite the 40 days of notice, 2 hearings, and 2 advertisements, there has not been a single person that has voiced any concern regarding our requested variances. For this and the reasoning outlined above, I would like to request that the board permits the 5-inch current setbacks of the south lot line. As far as other variances, I believe the board has asked for concessions that have been previously agreed to by our architect, and I will agree to those conditions now if required. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
When were the pavers installed?
When?
Yeah.
In June
This year?
this year.
Okay.
And I'd like to speak to that too, because, you know, my wife and I are not, what we do for a living, we don't install replacement parts in homes. So we went out and we got a reputable contractor that was in business for 27 years. You know, right here in West Babylon, right here, they have a showroom. So we contracted with them to do all this work, and they assured us via our contract that they would do everything in accordance with town rules and regulations. So they began the work and they installed these pavers the way they are now. So we paid for these pavers to be installed, and we assumed they would be installed correctly. And currently, we now have a complaint filed with the Consumer Affairs, complaint with Better Business Bureau, and I've now have a retained attorney to in turn sue these people because they've done this and other things improperly. So if we don't receive the 5-inch setback, it isn't because anything that we've done. We went out and we got what we thought was a reputable contractor to do the job in accordance with all the rules and regulations set forth by the town and the New York State Building Code. And so if we have to remove any pavers, you might as well not approve the variance at all, because if we have to remove anything, the cost is very similar to us. We have to remove the gate, we have to move the gate, we have to reinstall the fence, we have to pay another mason company to do all this work. And it is not like this contract's going to come back and do it for us for free. It's just not going to happen. So unless you really need this for some reason other than this water, you know, I would like it to be approved as is.
Yeah, so have you contacted the contractors in regards to this? They're not taking any responsibility?
Well, the contractor was supposed to get the variance before he started work. I didn't know this. You know, like I said, this is not something I do for a living. That's why I went out and hired who I thought would do it correctly. So I later learned from my architect that this was something that required a variance. So now he's already done the work, and now it's so many months later. Now, I've been aware of this since about, I guess, October, when we, or actually it was September, when we initially filed for the paperwork to do the variances for the front and rear porch. The architect stated that actually he was very surprised when he came by, and he said, you know, why is this work done? I don't know. He did what he told me he was supposed to do this. Like, I'm not even supposed to be standing here. This is supposed to be the contractor or the architect. The architect was here the last time. So I did what I was supposed to do, and now it seems like I'm being unjustly penalized for work that I was unaware. It was supposed to be done a certain way. So, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I imagine that you could say you want more than 5 inches, but again, you might as well deny the whole thing, because then it's 2 feet, whether it's 2 feet or 6 inches, it doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter to your convenience. It will still be the same cost. That's what you're saying?
It would cost, I would have to call a mason in and get everything changed, because the gate that I have on there now corresponds to the walkway in the front and corresponds to the pavers in the back, and it's attached to the fence, the property line fence post. So if there's additional setback, the entire section has to get taken down. Some sort of offset to that has to happen, and then the gate has to get reinstalled. And depending upon how much of an offset, the gate might not even fit anymore. And now I throw it away and I have to buy a new gate. So, you know, that's the position I'm in.
No further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. You'll get the decision in the mail. Thanks for coming down.
Okay, very good, thank you. Have a good night.
That's 5 inches. Yeah, in case anybody came late, application number 5, which is 23-194, the property is located in Deer Park, has been adjourned to December 21st, 2023. Is there anybody here? No. Okay, next application is application 23-196 of Village Auto Body, property located in Amityville.
Good evening. For the record, Laura Ellis of Laura A. Ellis PC, 85 Broadway, Amityville. I'm counsel for the applicant, Village Line Auto Body. The president, Andrew Nuss, is with me here tonight. If the board has any questions directly from my client. We are seeking renewal of a
Okay,
special...
let me just read their stuff into the record, okay? For the record, we have a planning division memo dated November 20th, 2023. Environmental control memo dated November 21st, 2023. You should have gotten a copy of this. There's a couple of things on the bottom here. If you got the planning memo, the second page, talking about exterior washing of vehicles and site abuts,
This is
residential.
what I had received, and just tonight, I received,
Should be a
this is-
Department of Environmental Control memo?
yes.
Yeah, so I'm talking about the things on the bottom there. There are of concern. Okay?
I just received tonight,
Yes,
yes.
okay. Fire Marshal's report dated November 30th, 2023. No violations observed. Excuse me. A survey by Frank Barlowski dated July 23rd, 2015. A plot plan by Jam Design Services dated August 8th, 2019. Tax map acting as an area map,
And, Mr. Chairman, we have 5 pictures and a plot plan by Jam Design Services dated August 8th, 2019.
okay. Would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes. So we're seeking renewal of a special exception permit to operate a public garage for auto body repair. The property is located in an industrial zone, it's industry GB zone on Albany Avenue at Reed Place in Amityville. The applicant has been operating on this site since 2016. The applicant's the business owner and the property owner. Initially, this application in 2017, it was approved for 2 years. At the expiration of that in October of 2019, it was approved for an additional 3 years. And when the renewal came up in 2022, it was approved for 1 year. A couple of years back, there was a concern over car overcrowding at the site. And Mr. Nuss has addressed the issue with the vehicles. He has been diligent in keeping up the appearances of the property. We did get 2 letters. They were submitted with the application from the neighbors. Neighboring to him, there is South Shore Nissan, and there's also Lambro Industries. Both neighbors have submitted letters attesting to the fact that there is no longer an issue with car overcrowding or the cars on the street. We are asking the board to consider a renewal of this application for 2 years. I did receive tonight, when I came in, the departmental regulations, and as I said, Mr. Nuss is with me here tonight. The automotive fluids and the gallon drums, he can address that to the board. We did speak to that before, that there was no issue with his business with the disposal. If you'd like to,
Okay.
with the automotive fluids.
Okay. Any other two? The other two on the planning memo. Could you address those?
On the environmental.
On the environmental control memo.
That the site abuts residential uses to the west of the property, and to the west of the property, it sits facing, to the west of the property on the tax map, I believe, is
Residential
Marola
across the street.
Tile is back there. Marola is east and west across Albany Avenue. When they say abut, they're talking about
Can't-
across.
If you want to speak, you have to come up. You can't just shout out like that. I just need your name and address for the record.
Andrew Nuss, 250 North Fifth Street, Lindenhurst.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Marola Tile is just east of me, just east of the building in the back there. And Lambro Industries is next to me, directly next to me, just south of me. I'm sorry, yes. Marola Tile is just south of me, and, I'm sorry, Lambro is just south of me, and Marola Tile is east of me. And then you have South Shore Nissan, which is north of me, right next to me. Yep.
Okay.
Really doesn't across the street.
You want to ask about, you want to address,
Just the exterior washing, I guess after you complete a job, you do a dealer prep,
Yes, sir.
before you complete
Yes,
it
sir.
and deliver it to the customer.
Yes.
Where are you prepping those cars? Is it in the front of the driveway in the area, or in the rear? They're concerned about runoff or water, contamination going into the sewers and stuff.
Yeah, so we do it inside the shop, and we wash them also outside, right outside front of the shop. But everything is just right in the front of, either in the front or inside the shop.
And how often do you're washing the cars in front of the shop?
Not very often,
Can it be
usually.
moved on to the side or in a storage facility in the back where you're storing your
No,
cars?
it's mostly just in the front when the vehicle's completed, and it's, all it is wash, we're just washing the vehicle, just as a courtesy to my customers after the vehicle's repaired. No, nothing like, the water that's hitting the vehicle, that drains down, that comes down, is nothing that's decontaminating or
Right,
anything
and
like
it's
that.
all environmentally safe?
Yes, oh,
detergents.
absolutely, 100%, yeah.
And how many storage drums do you have for your oils and,
One,
one? Okay,
Yes.
very good. I have no further questions.
any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Come on up, can you have a seat, please? Name and address for the record, please.
Yes, good evening. Lisa Johnson, 36 South Park Place.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
What would you like to tell us?
So, excuse me, I'm here with two of my neighbors and another neighbor. Two other neighbors could not attend. The issue that we have is that this business, along with Nissan Service Center, along with Nissan Car Dealership, used the end of South Park Place to park their cars. We do have pictures. I can send them to you. I do have them on my phone right now. One of my neighbors, Ella Williams, had an opportunity to speak with this gentleman, the owner, I think maybe about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And he was very nice, and he had his employees move their cars. So it has gotten better, but I'm here because what happens is once Nissan Service Center, once Nissan dealership, and once Village Line gets what they need, we go back to the same problem again in terms of cars parking at the end of a block. It had occurred it started actually through the summer, and then it got worse because between the 3 locations on either side of South Park Place, which is a dead-end street, right, the cars were parking between 2 to 3 individuals from these different businesses. We've watched the employees walk from our street to this business, to Nissan Service, as well as to Nissan dealership. So, and then my neighbor Ella Williams, when she went to speak to the gentleman, she went because we now have a little boy who goes to Northeast Elementary School. And so his grandmother brings him to the bus stop every single morning. And they got a point because there were cars on both sides. They had to navigate around the cars in order to get to the bus. And she said, look, what are we waiting for, an accident to happen as this young man goes to get on the bus? There was one time I was turning into South Park Place, and there was a neighbor that was coming off of South Park Place, and because the cars were blocking both sides, 3 and 3 on each side, we had to navigate around each other. So Our concern as neighbors is the fact that these businesses get what they need, but they continue to disrespect us as their neighbors in terms of not doing what they're supposed to do. One may say that this is a public street and they can park wherever they can park. I understand that, but when each of these businesses opened up, they all assured us there'll be adequate parking for their employees, and there'll be no need to park on our street, South Park Place, or on Albany Avenue. We actually did a petition, and my neighbor Ella Williams was supposed to submit it. I'm not too sure if she did or did not, asking for signs to be placed up at the end of South Park Place that says no parking. Actually, what would be nice for all these businesses if they actually put on the sign that, as a courtesy to our neighbors, please do not park on their street. We go to the owners, they're very nice, but the employees do not listen and give us a month. So in the last couple of weeks, there really have been no cars because they're coming for a renewal of their permit. Same thing happened with Nissan. There was hardly no cars parking on the street from Nissan when they got what they wanted. Guess what? They're now back again. So that is our complaint. And as I always say, one day there will be a major accident from either the cars parking on our street, the way they block both sides. They've gotten better, Village Line, in terms of unloading on Albany Avenue, but we still have Nissan that unloads. So one day there's going to be a major accident and someone's going to be injured. So that is our complaint. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
I do appreciate this woman's concerns, but I would like to reiterate that this application is only for Village Line Auto Body, not for Nissan. And as she did admit, that Village Line is not unloading on Albany Avenue anymore. And Nissan, she said they still have more of an issue with this application. I can only speak for my client, and he has been diligently working to correct any type of. There is no more unloading on Albany Avenue. He hasn't been unloading flatbeds there since 2017. So,
You mind if I say something? I'm
yes.
sorry.
Sure, you first swore in. Go ahead.
To be honest with you, I've never unloaded on Albany Avenue. I've always unloaded, and unloading meaning towing a vehicle to the shop, we always drop the car either in the yard or in the front of the location and then put it inside the shop. So there's absolutely nothing, being unloaded. What I think she may have been talking about was unloading and loading new vehicles from Nissan. Maybe she's speaking of that because I've seen deliveries come, but I've never unloaded or loaded, anything on Albany Avenue. I stay clear of Albany Avenue,
Okay, so this application is addressing Village Auto Body only?
Yes, that's correct.
You have parking available for your employees also?
Yes,
Somewhere in the lot where you have ample parking for them to park in there?
yes.
And everything in the evenings is stored behind locked gates in a storage area?
Absolutely, 100%. I did have a conversation, I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, but she does live on that block, and there was 2 employees that did park over there, and I told the employees, and I spoke to the woman, and I apologize again, I don't know her name, but I explained to her that, I'm gonna have them remove those cars, because I understand your concern, especially with the child. So I did have them move the vehicles to my facility, just to organize everything.
Okay, so basically, it comes down to common courtesy with neighbors and providing parking facilities for your employees and storing your vehicles in the proper locations behind locked gates.
Yes, sir,
Okay, thank you.
no problem.
Any other questions from the board? You're not, if you were here at the beginning, and I know you've been here before, you're only allowed to speak once, but you know what? Come back. I'll break the rule.
All I'm going to say is this. Maybe he's not there on the times that there is unloading of vehicles related to his business. Yes, it has occurred. Has it diminished? Yes, it has diminished. I am not naive. I know the difference between the unloading from Nissan and there in this company here. So that has occurred. Now, once again, parking is happening. They may say that their employees park at their business. That is not the case. I have the pictures, and I can gladly email them to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we make that a condition or no?
It's a public road.
Street, I don't know that we can make it a condition. Back up for a second. So you understand the neighbor's concern, okay? You know, and some of it obviously is not yours. Nissan has not been a good neighbor, we know that. But you're going to make sure that none of your employees are parking on that street, right? You're going to put that, your employees have space in your property to park, correct?
Yes, sir, yes.
And you're going to make sure that that's happening?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we're waiting for Suffolk County Planning on this, so we can't move this application until we get that, which we don't have a meeting next week, probably by the following week, and then we can make a decision on this. But you really, really need to be cognizant of your neighbors, okay?
Yes, thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll leave the record open if you would like to submit anything that you didn't submit tonight or didn't get to us by tonight, so we'll keep the record open for 2 weeks, okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
East side is the one that's probably the problem. Next application is an application 23197 of G&J Best Way 2 Auto Repair. Name and address for the record.
Orlando Salazar, 127 Helm Street in Brentwood, New York.
Okay, hold on. Do you guys get that? Do you have the name already?
Orlando, you just have to write on the piece of paper for us when you're done, okay, your name.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And you're going to speak, sir?
Hi. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank, 160 Long Island Avenue, Wyandotte, New York, 11798.
Okay. What's your,
Giron.
okay. And do you both affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. For the record, we have a planning division memo dated, planning division made, November 20th, 2023. Environmental control memo dated November 21st, 2023. Subject, okay. You should have gotten a copy of that. There is a comment on there about abutting residential neighbors. Fire marshal's report dated November 30th, 2023 has a valid permit. This is a site plan by,
Christopher.
that's the survey. Joseph Michael Clemens, dated November 22nd, 2019. A survey by Christopher Hen dated October 13th, 2018. Tax map acting as an area map.
And, Mr. Chairman, we have 3 pictures and a site plan by German and Clemens Architecture dated November 22nd, 2019.
Okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
What would you like to tell us?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're going to keep, the container is going to remove in 3 weeks. So if you have need to put an application, I can do it. For the parking, or the other cars, we're going to keep it the way they say in the site plan, just 6 cars.
Anything else?
No, that's all the board recommend to us to do it.
So there is a container on the site that needs a permit?
No, it's not permit, it's a
They're
rental.
removing it. Okay.
We moved in 2 weeks, about the first week of January. And I have the application, I need to put it in,
Okay,
I
but
got the permit, that's,
you're moving it, okay.
yeah.
And also, subject to previously filed conditions, covenants, and restrictions, those were filed at the county. You still, that's done?
Yes, done.
Trailer's gone. Outdoor storage area limited to 6 spaces per site plan?
Yep.
And you're going to abide by that?
Yeah.
Now, you own both these sites? One next door?
No, just one side.
Just one side?
Yeah.
Isn't it the same name, G and J?
That's best way too.
Two on one.
That's best way too. We own the 2 places, but that's for the 160.
But you do own the both places?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like it.
Right. Okay. Okay, so the recent approval was in March of 2022 for a period of 1 year, so, okay. Okay, any other questions from the board?
I have one, Mickey.
Sure.
What was the purpose of the container that you had there for 2 weeks? What was it used for?
It has some store. It's like it's a part. The new parts is storage in there. We have to give it back to somebody. So that's why we're going to keep it like 1 month more, and that's it.
What was it, and what was it, demolition, or you doing
No,
construction?
no,
or-
it's a brand new part for the other body.
Parts for the car? Auto parts for the car?
Yes.
It was oh, I see, okay.
Yeah, by the time in the pandemic, I get a lot of parts because I thought that takes so long. That's why I call.
You're not using it, won't need it, won't have it
No, I
back?
had to return those parts because it's too much. I don't want to lose and damage and waste money.
We had the mail here from the container. They're going to pick it up in a month.
I have no further questions.
If not, I'll get an application and I'll get a permit. Either way.
How long are you gonna have it there? You said it's gone?
Yeah, it's going to be gone for like first week of January.
So it's still there?
It's still there, yeah.
Oh, it's going to be gone by the first week of
No, no, no,
January?
No, no. If I need to put application for these 2 months, we'll do it Monday.
You're saying in 3 weeks it's going to be removed, correct?
No, no.
It's not going to be removed in 3 weeks.
No, no. For January 2nd, they say. I have the email here from the owners for the company. It's going to be a month. But if I need a permit for a month, I'll just put the application.
We'll get the permit in a month, so
Yeah.
remove it in a month.
Yeah, no, because I have the application. I asked them, yes.
Okay.
Is this where you store your vehicles? Is it in the place where you store the 6 vehicles that you're allowed?
Yes.
No, is the container in the spot
Oh,
where
no,
you
no,
can
no.
store the vehicles?
No, no, the container is inside. It's inside when you park the cars there. The parts go on the other side. As you can see there.
Is that the container there where the cursor is?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah? How long was it there? Or you said for since COVID?
Like a year and a half.
Year and a half.
All right. If it's there after January, first week in January, you're gonna need to get a permit. If you're gonna have it there, you need to get it legalized.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Either remove it or get it legalized. It's your choice.
Yeah, if you know God, pick it up, we get the permit ready, so.
Okay.
Either way.
Okay. Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. So we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. You'll get the decision in the mail, and we'll be checking on the container. All right?
Thank you. No.
Okay. Next application is application 23-187 of Bright Auto Collision LLC, property located in Copeg. Name and address for the record, please.
Sure. Bernard J. Zimnoch, 1909 Great Neck Road, Suite B, Copeg, New York, 11726, attorney for the applicant.
Okay. For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated November 20th, 2023. Environmental Control memo dated November 22nd, 2023. If we were to approve this application, it would need a negative declaration. A Fire Marshal's report dated November 16th, 2023, unable to inspect. No signs on building. So the fire marshal still needs to inspect. There was nobody at the building when he went to inspect. Same thing. Survey by Michael Scalise dated January 17th, 2018. Tax map acting as an area map.
And Mr. Chairman, we have 4 pictures and revised plans dated November 3rd, 2023, and November 13th, 2023, and a survey by Scalise Land Surveying dated January 17th, 2018.
Okay. Would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure. Good evening to the board. This application, it's a first-time application for my client, Bright Auto Collision. They are new tenants. They had signed the lease for a couple years. We have the landlord also present with us. I have the member of the LLC present here. The landlord previously, I believe this location has been used as a repair shop since 1974, according to the planning memo. So it's been a repair shop. The landlord intends to continue having it rented or used as a repair shop. The other portion of the building is a thrift store. So they sell...
You're good, continue.
Okay. They sell used clothing to the public. And currently, as the planning memo notes, that there is the facade awning. I don't know if you have the actual current photos that were submitted.
Yes.
So currently, we haven't touched the awning because right now we're waiting for this approval. Plus, we also have to get New York State approval. So everything will be done as soon as we get the approval. In regards to the planning memo comments, parking lot being restriped, no issue with that. That'll be restriped. And outdoor storage on the vehicles. I know there was a question about the storage, about the parking space in the front. From when I spoke with the landlord, where if you're looking at that photo currently, you have that black vehicle parked kind of in between the 2 metal rolling doors. The one to the left is a window. So when you pick that awning up, that rolling awning, you just have a pane of glass, so you can see inside the thrift store. The door directly in front of that parked vehicle is, from my understanding, a storage unit. So the thrift store occasionally just goes in, takes stuff out, puts it in. So it's not used for the auto body shop. The auto body shop uses the side entrances. So if you swing around to the side of the building, that's their main entrances to their shop, behind the gates, correct. The outdoor storage for the vehicles, in case somebody comes at night, let's say they have 5 vehicles, 2 vehicles are in the shop being repaired, 1 vehicle has to be kept outside because there's not enough space in there. We have proposed storage space behind the building around the corner, up to 5 vehicles, just to be on the safe side. So we overloaded it on that end. In regards to the parking space, there's paved parking in the rear. We'll restripe the back parking area just to bring it up so everybody knows where the parking is. And as I mentioned, if there are any questions from the board, I do have the landlord here and I have my client here also.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Dellavecchia.
Currently, there's 2 storage containers in the rear on your portion of the property.
Correct.
Are those staying, are those permitted?
Those, and I had this conversation with the landlord, and I also spoke with the thrift store. So from my understanding is the thrift store owner had applied a good couple months ago with the building department, and she never received any response to that. Those belong to the thrift store, not to my client. But and I did mention to her it has to be legalized.
Correct.
So, I mean, if anything, that would hold up my client's application. Possibly, I'm hoping it won't. I'm hoping it can be run simultaneously at the same time.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow you could look into that and see what state of process that is in.
Okay.
Because we have to wait for fire marshal's report anyway.
Right.
Also, if you could reach out to fire marshal and
Set up an
set
interview.
that up and make sure
Okay.
that someone is there when they go there, so they don't waste their time.
Yeah, I never received in the email, I did receive the planning comments yesterday, but I didn't receive the fire marshal report or
You didn't get a report?
Yeah, I didn't receive it via email for some reason. Oh, thank you.
Take mine.
So if approved, are you guys planning on, redoing portions of the building and facility to, make it more presentable?
Correct. I mean, at this point, I guess if you pull up the current photos, there's some minor damage to the front of the siding, so that would be repaired. And of course, the current awning that says TC Discount Tires.
Obviously, it would be a different name, et cetera.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
I mean, like I mentioned, we didn't touch anything until we went through this process because.
Understood. And what about the, all the asphalt as well? Like, as you can see in this photo, it's all tearing apart, et
Right.
cetera. It's all in disrepair.
Right. I mean, what would have to be patched up, I would speak with the landlord and have them patch it up.
Yeah.
I mean, redoing the whole asphalt, kind of a significant expense at this point.
Sure, but you're on Sunrise Highway, you want it to look good, right?
Correct, yes. Yeah.
All right. I have no further questions.
Come on up.
And if I
That's it.
could have the landlord.
Let the landlord come up and talk, please. I need name and address for the record, please.
Sammy Atut, 1 Linden Place, Great Neck, New York, 11021. First of all, good evening to the board and happy holidays. And I'd just like to mention that the photo that we are looking at is about at least 3-4 years ago, if not more.
Oh, it's in better shape now?
Oh, definitely, yes. All the front of the parking lot was asphalted about 2 years ago, and repairs, and right now, the site looks much, much better than what we're looking at 5 years ago.
And the... We have
Pictures there?
Yeah.
And also, can you talk to the thrift store about those containers and between yous get the permits for them or get rid of them, one or the other?
Definitely.
I know they don't belong to your client, I understand that, but as the landlord, they belong to you.
I met them just before I come here, and she confirmed that she had notified the town, and she's speaking to the town and trying to legalize it as soon as possible.
Okay. It was, okay, all right. Okay.
You guys agree to all the covenants and restrictions?
In regards to on the planning,
Correct.
on the planning memo?
Yes.
Yep.
They have to be submitted to Suffolk County. We do need Suffolk County planning on this also, plus the fire marshal too, so both of those things need to be done. All right, anything else? No. Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing, we're going to reserve decision. We're going to keep the record open for both fire marshal and Suffolk County planning, and you'll get the decision in the mail.
Okay, great. Thank
All
you very
right.
much.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
All right, thanks for coming down.
Okay. Pass the paperwork down.
Next application is application 23199 of Budding Industries Group LLC, property located in Deer Park. Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Brooks Taylor. My
You're going to
address
have to
is...
speak up a little bit, or maybe move the mic up a
sorry.
little bit. You're a big guy.
My name is Brooks Taylor, 5020 Sunrise Highway, and I'm the attorney for Budding Industries.
Okay.
And this is Lisa Rippey next to me. She's a member of the LLC. We're here to see if
Okay.
you'll let us have a cannabis retailer.
Let me just read what I have to into the record, okay? For Planning Division memo dated November 20th, 23. Environmental Control memo dated November 20th, 2023. If we were to approve this, it needs a negative declaration. Fire Marshal's Report dated November 30th, 2023. Again, there was nobody at the location for them to inspect, so you will have to get in touch with the fire marshal in any event before anything happens here. A survey, oh no, this is a site plan, by Charles D. Giovanna, dated August 2023. This is site plan by Richard Meshit, dated March 22nd, 2023. What else I got here? Yeah, we need the landlord. A survey by John Robinson dated November 12th, 1999. Tax map acting as an area map, and is the landlord here?
Yes.
Okay.
Stephen Dorff, okay.
Okay, have him move to the front, we need to talk to him, please. Okay, need your name and address for the record.
Stephen Dorff, 2005 Deer Park Avenue, Suite 3, Deer Park, New York, 11729.
And do affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, so before we even begin the application, you are in favor of this application? You're going to rent to them?
I'm in favor of this application, yes.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
That's an affirmative.
Thank you. Sure. All right, sorry. Okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure. This is the Budding Industry Group. It's a woman-owned business licensed by the New York State Office of Cannabis Management. We're proposing to open a retail delivery and retail dispensary at this location, which is 94 East Industry Court in Deer Park. As you know, we're requesting two exceptions. One is a parking exception, and one is a special exception to maintain a marijuana dispensary. Before I even begin, there's a few important conditions that were given to us that were raised by requested by the Town of Babylon Planning Division, and I just want to address those first. First, is the business hours, which will be Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. And Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And these are hours subject to your approval. That's number one. Number two, we're selling marijuana at this premises. There will be no on-site consumption, period. It is not going to be allowed to be consumed on-site. Number three, there'll be two delivery vehicles that are going to be used for delivery of the cannabis to customers. Those vehicles will be parked inside the premises at all times when they're not out delivering marijuana or cannabis. Number four, there will be no special events held outside of the premises. And the number five was the town requested that the parking lot be restriped pursuant to the plan that's been submitted, and the town wanted 15 dedicated parking spots, 8 spaces in the rear, 2 indoors, and 5 in front. And our site plan shows those parking spaces. There is a parking, we're requesting a parking exception. There's ample street parking nearby the premises in front. We're really asking to maintain 70% of the required parking. Okay, this property is industrial property, which has a much, the parking requirements are much less than a retail establishment. But this type of retail establishment has to be put into an industrial environment, and it'll be very hard for us to find a industrial place that has enough parking to satisfy retail conditions. So the reason I'm pointing that out is that we're about 70% of the required parking. And I just wanted to point out that a previous application for the company called Strain Stars was approved by this board in May of 2023, and they only maintained 60% of the required parking. So we're actually, our parking requirements are, we're closer to the requirement than another previously approved application for the parking exception. The other thing is that looking at the parking lot, it is, even at present, it's really underutilized. It's not, the lots are not full. So there should be ample parking for anybody that has to come and go at the premises. We're asking for a special use exception. The code requires that this exception to operate a retail marijuana dispensary. And as I said before, we have limited options. We can only operate a retail establishment of this nature in an industrial area. So we're kind of cornered in on where we can operate, and this does fit that condition. So this proposed location is an industrial area. The building plans that we've submitted to the town, the interior plans, those have to comply with New York state law, and those are approved by New York state law with regard to how the specifics on how the operation of the interior of the premises functions. Coming and going, there's special regulations. There's, for example, the regulations on parking the vehicles. The delivery vehicles have to be parked indoors. I mean, these are all state regulations, and these have to be approved by the state before they will issue the permission to open the store. We don't feel the store is going to substantially impact the traffic in the area. It's not a heavily trafficked area. Yes, it will impact it locally. That's just the nature of this sort of a thing. My own personal question was, are there going to be lines outside? And we don't think there's going to be lines of people waiting outside to enter the premises. Maybe 2 or 3 people maybe waiting to come in, but that's really about it. It's not going to be a zoo like when they opened up these other cannabis dispensaries where everybody's coming to check it out, and there's it's a circus. We don't think that that's going to be an issue here, simply because there's other places where people can buy cannabis. This is we're not the first. Those are the ones were the first. We're not the first, and other ones will be opening in time, and so we don't anticipate a zoo, so to speak, in the area. And that's all I have to put forward right now. If you have specific questions, I have much more detailed information of how many employees we'll have, security guards, cameras, all these, those sorts of things. I can go into that, but I don't know that that's going to. I can answer those questions if you want.
That was one of my questions about security and how many employees and parking for employees.
Okay. The parking for the employees will be 8 striped spaces behind the premises, and that's what the town planning, asked us to put, and those will be striped in the back, and those will be specifically reserved for employees.
How many employees do you think you're going to have at one given time?
19 total, 14 on daily working staff. There'll be 2 armed security guards, licensed security guards at all times. There'll be 6. So in this, and then further broken down, that'll be 6 customer service employees, 4 customer fulfillment agents. What exactly? You want to explain what that is? Why don't you explain these details, because I don't know the workings of how employees at.
So my name is Lisa Rippey, R-I-P-I.
You need a name and I need an address.
1298 Chelsea Road, Wantagh, New York, 11793.
Do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I am. Okay, so basically we're going to have what they call bud tenders, and those are the people who assist you to purchase the product. And behind the scenes in the back, there will be people that are called fulfillment agents, and they will pack the bags and have them sent out to the front. And we'll have 4 rotating drivers, and they'll be mostly, out on the road with the vehicles.
So you have 2 delivery vehicles?
Yeah.
Okay. And the rotating drivers
Yes.
would be the 4 drivers for 2 vehicles.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, 2 different shifts. Yeah.
Okay, and you'll have ample parking for these employees in the back. I was there today, and there's plenty of parking in the rear.
Yeah, thank you.
And you agreed, you addressed all those concerns that we have as the conditions that we set forth?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just storing of the product, how is it being stored? Is it
We
safe?
plan on having a vault that is also attached to an HVAC system. And it also is kind of hooked up to the POS system so that we always know what's in there, and at the end of the night, where every product is.
And is licensing as far as state goes, and you've already applied for that license?
We've already applied. We were actually one of the first, and we were approved January 23rd of 2020.
So it's already been approved by the
Yes,
state.
absolutely. We're ready to go. If you guys want to be part of an iconic moment with the first women.
already have.
The first women-owned dispensary on the island, because it's all full of men. Seriously, there are 3 women on this ticket. My partner Leslie Rodriguez, and Anthony is a girl dad, so that counts too. And then my partner who's not here, Amber Bennett.
I'm
So-
sympathetic.
And let me ask, how about deliveries? Not delivering the product, but how does it get to you?
It comes delivered from the grow houses. They bring it down in armored vehicles. And
Brought in a-
yes, it'll come around the back and,
Armored vehicle the
yes,
size of a
exactly.
Brinks truck or something?
Yeah,
So you don't, no tractor trailers or
No.
box trucks?
No, no.
Listen, 50 years ago, I knew all about this stuff.
I heard they
Today,
take a
it
lot
blows
of
my mind. It blows-
old ambulances and they revamp them into being these type of vehicles.
Dual purpose, maybe.
Absolutely.
How do the deliveries work? Like, is it like ordering up a pizza pie?
Pretty much, but there's no cash on the
Okay.
delivery, so it goes through a system that we have that's called All Leaves, and
Like an app?
they have to. Excuse me.
Like an app?
Yeah, kind of like an app, and they'll start from the website. It'll take them to All Leaves. They'll place a delivery, and it'll come through kind of like Uber does, and we'll get the order, fill it, and we send the drivers out.
Okay, when you send the drivers out, do they need proof of identification for age when they actually
They
make
do,
the
and actually, when they
delivery?
place the order, they have to show proof of identification.
Or when the driver gets to the location?
He will check the license as well and make
Okay.
sure who he is giving it to is that person.
So they gotta submit a photo of the license when they purchase it online?
Correct, as they make you upload it onto
There'll be
the,
a picture on your end.
correct.
Could you let me know what that website is?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman. We have to wait for fire marshal? Yeah, they addressed the hours, Monday through
It's industrial.
10 to 8, on Monday through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 10 to 9, Sunday, 10 to 5. Anybody have
If
any?
you don't mind me asking, who else occupies that strip of stores there besides you guys?
Well, when you're facing the building, to the right of us is Coal Fitters. And to the left of us, I don't really know what's in the
was
one to the left, but 2 doors down is Leo's Cabinets.
And Anthony's installation was,
Is that the one that's to the left? He doesn't have a sign in the window, so.
I just wanna know if it's gonna be a conflict in time.
I think like mostly, we're probably gonna be busier like towards the evening, and the block is dead. You know, come 4 o'clock, it's pretty barren there, and there's a lot of street parking.
And the delivery hours are the same as the hours of operation?
Yes, sir.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, we had 13 pictures and a site plan by Richard Mush dated March 22nd, 23.
Any other questions here? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Fire marshal?
Yeah, we're going to have to, we have to wait for fire marshal before we can move the application. We don't have a meeting until the 14th. if you get in touch with the fire marshal and get him over there and send us the, his okay as far as that goes, we'll take it up at the next meeting, which will be the 14th.
Thank you, sir. I
Okay.
appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Are you going to break down?
Close the hearing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Close the hearing. Leave the record open for fire marshal. That concludes our portion of the